All right. Thank you very much. Did you say the water you are drinking is from the technology?
It is, yeah, yeah.
I would love to, I mean, anyway, but what is the cost? I mean, you've mentioned that you have a project in Kenya, and do you have a project in other African countries apart of Kenya?
We do, yeah. So, and depending on where you are, it's usually about between 5 and 10 cents per liter, which is, you know, dramatically cheaper than bottled water or trucked water. And we are also, so we've got many installations in places like South Africa. We've worked with the South African government with schools in water-stressed areas like the Western Cape. We've worked with NGOs at historically underserved communities. So some of the townships outside of Johannesburg, a place called Diepsloot, a very large school. We've worked with the Samburu Girls Foundation in Kenya, which has been a very high impact community of young women that have been given essentially a second chance after difficult circumstances in their life. And then just this week in East Africa, we've done our first installation in Uganda, where up near the South Sudanese border in a town called 𝘀𝘂𝗰𝗵, we're working with a school, a boarding school, which has actually run out of groundwater. So their groundwater has depleted so much that their wells are running dry for several months per year. So we've been able to provide that school with a resilient off-grid form of drinking water supply. And so they're very, very encouraged by the applications for the technology in West Africa as well, and very keen to find partners on both the government and the industry and NGO side in Ghana. Obviously, for the 10 or 20% of about 20% of the population that don't have safe drinking water, mostly in the more remote and non-urban areas. And then also working with big industry. So a lot of the agricultural and gold mining type operations who require a lot of labor forces outside of cities, and use a lot of expensive bottled water and high value water. We can work with those types of companies to reduce their costs and plastic consumption as well.
The issue of quality, and I was having a discussion with a friend about this technology, and he was worried. He was worried about quality because we know that greenhouse gases escape into the atmosphere, and some amount are likely to be mixed with the moisture in the air. So people, those that I discuss with them about this technology, are concerned about the quality, the safety of this water.
So they should be. So water is something where people all around the world are concerned about the safety and the quality of water. That's why 500 billion single-use plastic bottles are sold every year, even though it's been proven many times that the bottled water contains microplastics inside the water. We are able, because we use a two-step process, we just absorb the H2O from the water, from the atmosphere. So the way in which we produce the water is a two-step process. So our raw product is water. It's not combined with other things that are in the atmosphere. It's just water, which is a very different process than, say, direct condensation like an air conditioner, or direct water capture like rainwater tanks, where you get a lot of other things from the atmosphere. Because we've got a material science-based approach, we just get H2O. We know that scientifically. We test that in a laboratory, and then we have hundreds of installations in high pollution places, like in Asia, in Manila, in Jakarta, in very polluted parts of places like Johannesburg. We're able to, and in Mumbai, in India, we're able to test that water frequently, and we've got very high quality water being produced. And we're also able to monitor that quality remotely. So unlike a well or unlike a water pipe, we're actually able to provide the people who drink our water with real-time insight into that quality, and some of the digital benefits you're used to on a telephone or on a renewable energy system. But in water, there's not a lot of transparency about what's actually coming, coming out of the tap or into the cup. So we're proud of the level of transparency and quality, and we incorporate rigorous testing and compliance in all of the projects we do.
So it means that there is no any question about the quality and safety.
There's no question about the quality. We think people should be concerned, and people around the world, water is very important because water makes people sick, right? Water causes people to pay a lot of money and make a big environmental impact buying bottled water, right? Water is so important to people that women will spend hours a day walking to fetch water. It's really critical that people get clean water. We just try to do it in a cheaper way, and we use technology to make that clean water more reliably where people live. So water is important, and people should ask questions, but we really look at that. And the thing that we like about it is that with the solution we have, the same water that I drink in my house is the same water that the students are drinking on the border of South Sudan and Uganda. It's the same water that they're drinking at a 5-star hotel in New Delhi. And it's exactly the same water that they're also drinking in tiny little rural villages in India where there's no income at all, right? So the great kind of equalizer is that we're all humans, and humans need to drink clean drinking water, and we're using technology to enable that. In the same way that all those people using mobile phones in all those places are still accessing the same Facebook and the same Google, right? They're still participating equally. And unfortunately in water, it's not equal, right? People in the developing world have many more challenges. Women have many more challenges than men. People in rural areas have many more challenges than people in cities. And so we're trying to use technology to better serve outcomes in those places.
Let's talk about the cost and accessibility